Hi and welcome to day 28 of Inktober Tangles 2025. I'm Lisa Crow, a certified Zentangle teacher, and today I'm going to teach you this tangle. It used to really drive me crazy. I found it kind of a challenging tangle to draw for a while. I finally got a hang of how to make it easier for myself. So I'm going to share this tangle with you today. So I'm just going to get started right in the ink stage. I'm not going to bother doing any corner dots or borders or anything like that. Anywhere within your tile, just create a seed shape like this one. And then this is a grid that's repeating like triangular shapes that are formed of 3 seed shapes. So once I've drawn my first seed shape, I draw a dot somewhat away from this first dot halfway along, and that just gives me somewhere to aim for when I'm creating my second seed shape. And then we can close that set of 3 up. And if you are unfamiliar with the concept of a meta pattern is something that forms while you're putting other shapes down. So this one, you'll end up seeing that there's loads of flower shapes that appear. So I'm just doing another seed shape directly below this last one that I drew. And then I'm going to come here and do this next seed shape. And remembering, if you have done your seed shapes not exactly the same size, or they're slightly off where they should be, we're not bothered about it. It's just the process of actually drawing these shapes is very mindful and relaxing. So just don't stress yourself. So we're going to do another one directly below here. And we'll close up this here. And I'm absolutely loaded with the cold today. I went away at the weekend for a spa weekend with my mum and my sister. You can see I've got my nails done. And I came back, we had the best time. But I came back with a cold, so I'm feeling a bit ugh. So apologies in advance for any sniffing. I will try to keep it down. So now you can see I said about not worrying about any imperfection. So here I've got this flower shape that I alluded to, and you can see that that's absolutely, like, it's really quite far from being a perfect flower. But we've got the 3 and then the 3 to form that 6. So we're just trying to group these groups of 3 together and just relax. Do not stress with it at all. Yeah, I was up in Dundee. It's a place up north of Glasgow in Scotland, which is where I live. I used to live in Dundee from Glasgow, but I lived in Dundee for the best part of 20 years because I was a journalist prior to being a certified Zentangle teacher. And yeah, it was nice to be back in the city where I lived for such a long time. So many things have changed though, like there's different shops and whatnot, but really good. It's funny the timing though, because I've just recently got back into doing some freelance work for the publisher company that I used to work with or for. I'm going to be doing some sub-editing freelance for them. So it was nice to be back up there again, and I saw somebody that I used to work with. I wasn't expecting to see her, I just bumped into her. She had been doing an event at the same hotel that I was staying at with my mum and my sister. So as you can see, I'm just filling out these shapes, just, you know, it depends like what bit of the tile, each section that I'm looking at. I sometimes use the fact that we've got you know, a row of these seed shapes. That can help you to know where you place your next one. Sometimes I'm doing that original trick, you know, where you put the point down half the way along. But you might end up, although the meta pattern, generally speaking, is going to have you creating 6 petaled flowers, this one here is far from perfect. I've got the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just go with what comes out of your pen. It's just, honestly, it's just, do not stress. Do not stress. I'm going to put one more here, and that is going to be me, I think. This is a kind of pattern that you could do within, I've created this before. I will link, I'll put it in this part of the video. There will be a link here where you can visit my previous lesson that I did on Quandary, and I created it within a shape. I think I had drawn the actual lesson there. I drew it just within a simple square area, but you could draw it inside a heart shape or a star shape. You could draw it so that you fill the entire surface that you're drawing on. It's just whatever comes out of your pen at that point in time, just go with it. So I'm just kind of going to have some empty space around about here. And you could leave, I think the original step outs for Quandary, they just have the seed shapes just blank as they are, or unfilled, I should maybe say. But I quite like actually putting some decoration in. So I think what I'll do today is I'm going to do a dot, a bigger dot, and then another dot. You could put orbs in them. You could put stripes in them. There are so many different ways that you could change this up each time. You could change the colour of the pen that you're using as well to do different stages. So yeah, I'm kind of having a bit of a, going back to what I used to do. I'm very much still in the Zentangle area. I'm not going away from Zentangle. I love Zentangle, and I'm going to be selling some pre-recorded lessons soon, and I'm going to be selling some art on Etsy. There's loads and loads of different ways that I'll still be around for Zentangle, my channel. I'm still going to have my weekly videos coming out. But I just thought, I didn't realise how much that I had been missing the proofreading and all that side of things. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that, and I'm proofreading a memoir this week. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. And I'm going to be doing some feature writing for The People's Friend, which you may or may not know, depending on where in the world you're from. I think it's, don't quote me on it, but I think it's the longest running women's publication. I can't remember when it actually started, but it's been going for a very, very, very long time. Okay, so now I've created, I've done embellishments in between all of these, in the insides of all of these seed shapes. This is an optional thing, which is not in the original step outs, I don't think, but I'm going to come in now and just kind of smoosh, technical term, smoosh. I'm going to smoosh an orb into any of these areas. I might just do it on the bits where I've got the 3 clustered together. If I've got more open ones at the edges, I'll probably just leave those ones. But put these, almost like if you're familiar with the tangle in Zeppel, it's like you kind of are retracing the lines at the sides, and then when you come to a corner you kind of round it out a bit. And I think that this can be quite a cool way to change it up a bit. Yeah, I think that's all of the kind of embellishing that I'm going to do in that way. So I'm now just going to move on to doing some shading. So any time that I come to a rice shape, I'm just going to put a little bit of graphite either side, because when I start blending this out, I want to be leaving a little bit of a highlight in the middle. I'm not being very systematic with this, am I? Should probably be doing them all of the ones facing in the same direction before I move on to any other ones, but never mind. And we'll get them all. Right, so I think I've got all of those, and I'm now going to come in with my blending stump and just, I'm trying to not go too far into the centre, because my plan is that I'm going to go into the centres with white pastel pencil, and I try to not have the pastel pencil and the graphite pencil, I try to have them not kind of meet really if I can help it, because then you can end up with a bit more of a greyish mix. I think it's nicer if you can keep the pastel pencil looking nice and bright and clean. So doing all of that, and then coming in with this white pastel pencil, just like I say, just right in the centres of each of these rice shapes. And if you do overlap the graphite pencil a little bit, it doesn't really matter. It's just something to be mindful of, like when you're aware of these kinds of things. It's something that can add to the, if you're focusing on doing something like that, it kind of makes it a bit more mindful, and you get the more of the benefits of all that side of things. I'm going to come in and smooth out those pastel pencil areas now. Missed one here. Oops. And now I'm going to come in and shade these bits. If you have decided to join my idea of putting these orbs in between the clusters of 3, you could either shade them, like I'm going to create them so that they look a bit like tiny pearls. So you could do it like that, or you might come in and fill them in with a different colour of ink. Like maybe you could come in with a gold pen. That might be like a really cool way of adding some embellishing in that sense. Just whatever you feel that you would like to do for yourself. I'm going to come in with my jelly roll. I think I could come in the jelly roll on the seed shapes as well, but I'm just wanting to kind of make it a bit brighter on these orb shapes. I don't even know if that's showing up very well. I think this jelly roll might be running out of ink quite soon. But what I'm going to do now, the tangling is really finished, but I like to come in after I've done my shading and my inking and I retrace any of the lines where they've kind of become a bit dulled in the process of adding the shading and the highlighting. And you might be looking at this and thinking, oh, her shapes are definitely not perfectly formed, and I'm aware that this is not perfect, but it's very, very, very much about enjoying the process of just putting pen to paper. And so I actually quite like the imperfection. I'll show you once I've finished adding some more ink here. I'll show you a few tiles that I've done with Quandary on it previously. There's one that I had started, this is before I filmed my last tutorial on Quandary. There was one tile that I did and it started getting away from me, and I just actually decided, oh, I'm going to turn that into as if it was deliberate. So I kind of just created them all a bit randomly, as if they looked like they were trying to escape off the page, and I actually quite liked the way that that ended up. You'll see what I mean in a minute when I show you that. But just enjoy the process of finding the spaces on your tile that need a little bit more ink. You don't obviously have to do this stage at all. You can leave that. I've inked that one already. You can leave that if you would rather not. I just think that even although it's quite a simple thing to do, it does actually have a lot of impact. Right, I think I've added ink to where I would like to put it, and I'm going adding more ink but on the smushed orbs. There we go. And I need to just do one more thing and then I will call it a day. Where'll I put my chop? You know, because if you're not familiar with the concept of Zentangle Method, you'll not know. You can look, you should be able to look at your Zentangle art in any way. Like, it should be, there's no right or left, there's no up or down. So you don't have to put your chop in a specific way. So I'm just putting it down here. I'm calling it that's the way that it goes. So now I will show you some previous ones that I've created. So this is project pack 10, where Zentangle were trying to help people create their own legends, which means just like, you know, you have a nice icosahedron, it's called, and it's a 20-sided die. So the tangles that are in this book correspond to a number, and you kind of, obviously it's quite random, you roll the dice and then you tangle that tangle that you've rolled, you put that onto your string on your tile. So yes, I started it here and I think I just kind of thought, oh, I felt a bit disheartened that I wasn't able to do it as well as I'd hoped, and then I kind of left it. This one here is very, very different. I think this is Quandary. Looks to me like it's Quandary, except I've got these dots in the centres. This is the one that I taught on my last YouTube video, so you can see, or not my last YouTube video, but the last time I taught Quandary. So you can see that that's within a square, but you could create it as well in another shape. So here it is in a heart, and I've done the smooshing orbs there as well, except I've done a different colour. This is quite cool, doing it on a black tile with some Jelly Roll pens. And you can see that here I've got some orbs, and then I've just put kind of little dots inside the orbs, and I've got triangles in the middles. This is when I've done it on another tile, and I've got some gold pen here, like metallic-y gold pen. So that's quite nice. I've just done it in simple orbs here which haven't been filled in, and it's just black ink. This is the one that I was referring to. So, I mean, I've not even finished it because I've still got some shading to do, but I had started to create it, and then I think I kind of got over here and like everything just started to go a bit awry. So I thought I'll just do some random seeds as if they're trying to fly away, like almost like dandelion leaves or whatever. They're not leaves, whatever those little bits are in dandelions. I thought I just would make it look as if it was trying to escape, and then I actually did really like how that looked. But like I say, I did have a video for Quandary that I did previously, so go and watch that as well. See if that kind of just helps everything that I've taught today to click into place. That video's about double the length of this one. I think it's 40 odd minutes. But either way, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video today. If you've tangled along, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. You know, if you have liked it. And I'll be back tomorrow for Poke Heart. So this one looks lovely. I'm looking forward to doing this. Oh, actually, I found I had misplaced this. I've been working on a bigger piece of paper and pulling everything together on this paper, but I just found this, and so you can see here I've got the Quandary, and I think this might be triplet. I think I've got Quandary somewhere else. Oh, it's over here. So just to kind of see how you can tie that in with some other tangles, and I kind of feel like this is quite busy for my personal taste. Like I've had lots of people saying, oh, it's really lovely. It's just a bit busy for me, but I quite like the effect. Like I decided to go around the kind of individual tangles. I decided to go around at least some of them with the white Jelly Roll pen, just so that I could kind of separate them from the neighbouring tangles. And you can see there are some bits where, like, you know, especially on this Lilife or Lilife tangle, you can see there are bits where I need to go back in with the black pen. But, you know, it's coming together. It is coming together. So I just thought I'd show you on this tangle surface where the Quandary tangle was. So thanks again so much for joining in, and I'll hope you join me tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.